Jovan, great to see you again. You know, NBA executives across the league are furious over this trade. Explain to everybody at home why exactly.
Well, they are furious because a 25-year-old generational superstar was made available quietly, basically only to the Lakers. And I think that the rest of the league is upset that they didn't have a shot to get in on the Luka sweepstakes. I think there's a chance that had it been an open competition for acquiring Luka, that the price would have been a bit higher, and that even if it ended up being the Lakers, that they would have had to throw in a second first-round pick or a Dalton Connect or at least some pick swaps or something on top of what they ended up trading to Dallas. So I think everyone's just upset that they didn't have a chance at Luka, but for the Lakers, this continues just a 6 decades of landing generational superstars. And just when it looks like you're not quite sure what the next era of Lakers basketball is going to look like, they go and land another one.
One NBA executive said that the Mavericks must hate Luka Doncic to do this. In other words, to get rid of a generational talent at 25 years of age. Why would they do that? Why were they so anxious to get rid of Luka Doncic?
Well, to be honest, I still don't get it. And I've heard the gripes from the Dallas side. They've been trying to get out ahead of it and set the narrative that the weight, the conditioning, the leadership, some of the stuff. But I look at this guy just led them to the NBA Finals last season. This season, before he got injured around Christmas time, they were 4th in the Western Conference. He was putting up 28, 8-8, and basically putting up the numbers he's consistently put up throughout his career. So if there's any signs of slippage or concern, it has not been reflected in the results with Luka Doncic. He is on the trajectory of a first ballot Hall of Famer. Really, the last player we've seen hit these statistical markers was LeBron James. Dallas had an up close look, and I'm not going to dismiss some of these concerns, but it does feel like a short-sighted move on their part. And again, even if you felt like you had to trade him, it's indisputable that they could have gotten more for him if they had an open bidding process. And the fact that it just feels like they sold low on him and got 40 to 50% of what they truly could have gotten.
Luka Doncic grew up in Slovenia idolizing LeBron James. He's talked about that, how excited he was to play against LeBron James. LeBron James has said nothing but great things about Luka Doncic. So now, as teammates, how do you see these two fitting together?
It's going to be very interesting because these are two guys who have always had the ball in their hands. And whenever they've been paired with stars, they've clearly been the best player. And the stars around them have had to make the bigger adjustments. It's almost like that Spider-Man meme where they can look at each other and say, I can do what you can do, and you can do what I can do, and you got to kind of figure out who. So I do think with Luka being 25, not even in his prime yet, LeBron will probably take a little bit more of a step back. There's been reporting through the years that LeBron has wanted to pass the torch and hand it over to the next star. And originally that was supposed to be Anthony Davis, but I don't think from a shot creation perspective he was quite at that level. Certainly not at the level that Luka's at. Luka has modeled his game after LeBron in many ways, and I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of how they find that balance there with allowing each one to kind of do what they want to do while also acquiescing to the other star.
All right, let's put a bow on this package. Never in the history of the NBA has two all-NBA players been traded for each other mid-season. When we look back at this trade one day, how will it rank in the history of the NBA?
I think it's going to rank as the most shocking trade of all time. I at least in the modern era, which we can loosely say is about 1980 and beyond. I think going back, you could look at Wilt Chamberlain or Kareem maybe getting traded, but post 1980, I think this is the most shocking trade of all time. We have never seen someone really in Luka's position get traded like this and really get bet against by their former franchise. But I think we're going to look at this trade as a monumental trade that 10 to 15 years from now is likely to have led to at least a couple of championships for the Lakers when either with Luka and LeBron or they get the second star once LeBron retires. And I think this is going to set the Lakers up incredibly well for the next 10 to 15 years. And we're going to look back at this past weekend as what led to all of that. So I think it's going to be a sliding doors moment in NBA history and one of the more impactful NBA trades of the post-millennium.